Hidden Power! The move that warped and centralized competitive Pokemon. But, how does it hold up in game? See, the way Hidden Power works in Gen 3 is that, depending on your Pokemon's individual values, it can be any type aside from normal, and it can have any base power between 30 and 70. It can even be physical or special, depending on what type it is. And, well, you read the title. Hidden Power only, no struggle, no items in battle, set mode in Pokémon Sapphire. Is it feasible? Let's find out. You know the ones. Our run starts with us choosing our starter, and we'll go with Unown since it's the only one of the three that starts with Hidden Power. Hidden Power is neutral to Poochyena, which is good, because if it was Psychic then we'd need to restart. We'll figure out what type it is soon enough, I'm sure. Welcome to the team, Zork. We'll make you work. Adamant, huh? That could be good if you have a physical Hidden Power. And Wurmple resists it, so it's either grass or ground. One of those is less than ideal, and the other would cause a reset. Great. Brendan's Mudkip will help us deduce things, and it's grass. Okay, so the run continues, and the early game will be okay, but man, that adamant nature really isn't helping here. Before moving on to Petalburg, we'll catch a full team of Zigzagoon for reasons I'll get into later. So welcome to the team, Zigzag 1, Zigzag 2, Zigzag 3, Zigzag 4, and Zig7. Wally catches his Ralts, Daddy tells me to challenge the Pokemon League gyms, and we take out the Team Aquagrunt's Poochyena to rescue the Devon employee. This Poochyena is just one reason why Hidden Power Psychic would have required a restart. Despite Zork only being level 9, they're pretty much already good to go for the Rustboro gym, being able to one-shot the gym trainer's Geodude with ease, leveling up to 11 before Roxanne. So, let's just get straight into it. Zork actually fails to one-hit KO Roxanne's Geodude, and is knocked to below half by Rock Tomb in response. Nosepass just spams Harden and Tackle for a while, meaning Zork gets shockingly close, but in the end they are just an unknown. Though, to be fair, that was an impressive showing considering. After defeating all the trainers on Route 116 and Zork reaching level 14 as a result, it's time to try again. I also give Zork an Oran Berry this time. Geodude is easily one-shot, and Nosepass decides Harden is a good use of its limited time on this earth. It isn't, and after surviving a lot of rocks to the eye, Zork takes the victory with 10 HP remaining. I'm very glad I remembered that Oran Berry. That's our first badge, and hey, it wasn't even that bad. We rescue Pico from another psychic-denying Team Aquagrunt's Poochyena, and get given a bunch of things to deliver to various places, meaning Mr. Briny will now ferry us over to Dewford. Traversing Granite Cave is simple and free, even in the dark, and so we can give Steven his letter from his dad. He claims our Pokemon appear quite strong, but all they have are 5 raccoons and the letter Z. We're actually just gonna completely ignore Brawly for now and head over to Slateport first, since Brawly isn't mandatory until a bit later. Don't mind me, gazing wistfully at this man. One day. One day. Anyway, courier job. We can deliver Captain Stern's parcel and then immediately get jumped by some Team Aquagrunts. No worries, they should just have some water types that get absolutely annihilated by Hidden Power Grass. Oh, that's not ideal. Oh god, that did nothing. We'll switch Zork out to get rid of the confusion and then back into Zork to... honestly, I'm not sure what my goal was. Yeah, okay, we aren't winning this damage race. That wasn't even close. Yikes. We're gonna need to think of something else if we don't want to just restart the run for a better Hidden Power type. At least I became the first person in history to get 6-0'd by this Zubat. After grabbing a pen and some paper, it's time to try again. I have a plan. See, this Zubat only has 3 moves: Leech Life, Supersonic, and Astonish. Leech Life is the only one of those that can damage the Zigzacrew, meaning that once it runs out of that 15 PP, we just need to keep switching a lot until the Zubat starts using Struggle. By giving each Zigzagoon an Oran Berry, they should be able to take a few hits each, even at their low levels. This isn't why I caught them, but it sure is helpful. 6 minutes later, and the Zubat runs out of Leech Life PP. And indeed, we still have 3 Zigzagoon remaining. Now we just need to work on the other 2 moves. And wahey! Another 6 minutes later and it starts to use Struggle. Zig7 never saw it coming. So now Zork, you've got this, right? Zork? Zork, buddy, you appear to be losing the damage race against a struggling Zubat. Come on, Zork, just one crit. Come on, damn it! 6-0'd by this Zubat twice? Well, while we're in the neighbourhood, we may as well work on defeating every trainer in the area for experience. It genuinely never even crossed my mind that Zork would lose to a struggling Zubat. Sorry, I can't get over that. Actually, you know what? I genuinely think the Jufer Jib might be easier than that Zubat. I don't know how I got here. Still though, gonna take out every trainer first for whatever experience I can scrounge up. That gym may be kinda tiny and sparsely populated compared to how it is in Emerald, but we still got a couple levels in there, and we're up to 20 for our next Zubat attempt. And hell yeah, we get to do the PP stalling dance again. 12 minutes later, and it's back to struggling. Zigza 3 falls, with Zig 7 shortly after. Zigza 2 also bravely goes down to the line of duty, the three of them dealing around 3 recoil damage to the monstrous bat. And now, it is time for us to start Zorking it. An immediate crit from Zubat spells catastrophe, but Zork isn't down for the count yet. Okay, a second crit is pretty bad, actually. Yeah, but regardless, it looks like Zork is going to outlast this opponent. And yes! The beast is slain! It seems the only thing powerful enough to defeat this Zubat was itself. But it is over. We are free. Archie, the boss of Team Aqua, stops by to see what was taking his grunts so long. But it's not all celebration just yet. We have to deal with Brendan. And his Shroomish is definitely going to be an issue. Yeah, that was a crit. And it has Stun Spore. And Leech Seed. And Mega yeah, let's just not follow that through. Okay, let's try grinding in the trick. That's even worse! Well, I guess we can always try Brawly for experience. Machop is easily taken out with Zork only being hit by a Seismic Toss, and we go straight into Makuhita, who appears to be a 3-shot. And, yeah, that was pretty trivial, surprisingly. Good job, Zork. That's badge number 2. Alright, let's try Brendan again. We've given Zork a Cherry Berry, and we'll also use a few rare candies we've picked up to get him to level 26 and see how that fares. 8 level advantage Zork, and you're dealing... I think that's around a 6th. Stun Spore is a free turn thanks to our Cherry Berry, and after succeeding with Stun Spore on the next turn, Shroomish misses with Leech Seed. The problem is, we need to switch out to get rid of Leech Seed when it does hit, and whenever we do, Shroomish gets to suck a Zigzagoon dry and gain back some HP. This isn't super ideal, but there's definitely a path here. If Shroomish misses at least one Stun Spore or Leech Seed and Zork is able to get a crit, then the damage race should be won. Well, let's finally talk about the purpose of those Zigzagoon, and indeed why we're doing this run in Sapphire and not Emerald. Zigzagoon have the ability Pickup, which means after a battle they have a 10% chance of holding an item from this table. There's some good stuff here. We should be decently stocked on Ultra Balls and healing items, nuggets can be sold for important money, proteins would be great if we had a physical attacker, PP ups are fantastic when you only have one move, and of course, the big one, rare candies. This table isn't as kind in Emerald onwards, as in that game it's based on the Pokemon's level and you mostly just get trash at first. I actually first tried this run in Emerald, but You sure this is the run? Yeah, I switched to Sapphire. Pickup makes grinding for this run significantly easier, as even if the experience is bad, there's still a 4.9% chance of getting at least one rare candy after every battle. So, yeah, this is what I did for the next 20 minutes. I ran up and down in this dark cave and prayed for rare candies. I got one. We did at least get enough experience to reach level 29 along with our rare candy collection, which means Zork does... Zork, buddy, is that the exact same amount of damage? Still, things appear to be going better, and it looks like we'll win this until Shroomish crits a Mega Drain on the same turn that Zork is fully paralysed. Let's run this one back. Okay, I swear Zork was born under an unlucky star. You have to appreciate my tenacity in continuing to try this fight, but... let's run it back! The next timeline fares better to begin with Shroomish missing its first Stun Spore. We just really need Zork to crit here. Which, of course, they don't, and Shroomish goes for Leech Seed, meaning another dance around with a Zigzagoon to get rid of that. But then Shroomish misses another Stun Spore. It isn't over. Shroomish barely survives in the red and goes for Mega Drain, but Zork is able to deal just enough to knock it out. One down. Numble's up next, and it has the decency to not resist Grass. Zork takes basically nothing from Ember and is able to two-shot with Hidden Zork, why are you the way that you... Oh my god. Zork knocks Nummel out, but this isn't looking great. The good news is that Marshtomp is 4 times weak to grass. And Marshtomp goes for bite. I actually did not expect that to one-hit KO, but I will take it. We've defeated Brendan. Let's keep up the rival train with Wally and his Ralphs and the one run where it might... No, it's still terrible. We'll ignore that and just head straight into the Marvel Gym. The one obstacle keeping us from having more team members. A random Magnemite in the gym takes 4 hits to knock out, which is a little better than I expected, if I'm honest, but still obviously not great. So let's put a pin in that for a moment. We have access to the daycare, so we should probably start preparing for some future team members. And what better way to do that than to fish? Magikarp are plentiful and easy to catch, and Gyarados are very good. So let's go on a fishing spree. So please do welcome Fish 1, Fish 2, Fish 3, Fish 4, Kevin, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, and Ben 10. Hopefully at least one of them is decent. After checking their potential hidden powers in a very legitimate way, I like to leave Fish 2 and Ben 10 in the daycare, as they have decently strong rock and flying hidden powers respectively. Okay, we've fought every available trainer up to this point. We may as well at least try Watson and see where we're at. Oh, okay, this isn't great. We're doing basically nothing to Magnemite, and it can paralyze Zork and even confuse them. At least that crit lets us see what Voltorb has for us. I'm gonna just chuck a Zigzagoon into the line of fire to see if it can catch a self-destruct. Okay, it can't, so I guess Voltorb is... I swear the AI in these games cheats somehow. Well, we know now how much Zork takes from self-destruct, so it is knowledge. Magneton, of course, annihilates Zork, but it is only level 23, so maybe this won't be too awful to grind for. May as well try again after a few rare candies. Well, that is a little more damage dealt to Magnemite and seems to be a 4-hit KO. As before, Magnemite uses Thunder Wave on the first couple turns before switching to doing way more than I expected with Thunder Shock. Still, after a few turns, Magnemite falls, and this time we know to just keep switching into Brave Zigzagoon until Voltorb blows up. Or Voltorb could just use Spark 5 turns in a row despite being baited by Zork, critting Zork, and then blowing up. The fact we haven't even touched Magneton yet means we're clearly not ready for this. Which, yay! That means it's back to Granite Cave for me! At level 41, it looks like Zork will be able to 3-hit KO on the Magnemite, though it's hard to tell thanks to that crit. And seemingly Voltorb is nearly a one-shot. And hey, since Voltorb has been knocked low, let's send Zig7 into the line of fire. You died a brave soldier. So, hey, we're actually onto Magneton with over half HP remaining. Though it still deals way too much damage with Shockwave, and of course Zork can't exactly match that. Yeah, even if Zork crit every hit, Magneton would win here. We're actually not even close. Alright then, we'll grab the Miracle Seed, and then head back to my favourite cave for another grinding session. Zork's level 47 now, and I do want to test the Miracle Seed to see if it helps at all. Okay, a Miracle Seed critical hit is not enough for one-hit KO Magnemite, which is secretly what I was looking for. But it does seem like that's only a couple of levels away. We do one-shot Voltorb at least, and even Magneton appears to be a 4-hit KO. Definitely getting closer here. And this is the time I remembered we can actually buy vitamins with some of that nugget money, allowing us to stuff Zork full of calcium like some kind of vitamin-rich foie gras to hopefully break those damage thresholds. Alright, back to Cherry Berry. Let's see how this goes. And Magnemite is indeed a 2-shot. Watson opens as Supersonic for some reason, which is insanely huge for us. Just a little Zigzagoon dance and Zork's back in to take the KO at full HP and with the berry intact. Voltorb continues to be a one-shot, so this is the best possible state we can be in for Magneton. 4 hits. Don't mess this up, Zork. Thunder Wave is free because of the Cherry Berry, and Zork knocks it below half next turn before being paralysed for real this time. Magneton misses with Supersonic, but sadly Zork doesn't crit, allowing Watson to heal. A Sonic Boom trades off for Zork's hidden power, and this battle is finally feeling in the bag. And then Zork gets confused and hits himself in confusion, which does a ton because of that adamant nature. Cheers, bud! Another Zigzagoon dance to get rid of that, and Zork's below half with Magneton in heal range again. It's gonna be a close one, but Zork can still clutch. No! Not the full paralysis! We were so close! And hey, in the next battle we learn that Magnemite is a ranged to 2-shot. So that's fun! I reset a few times until Zork hits that range. Voltorb of course goes down too, And then we're back to Magneton. I think this battle is actually in Zork's favour, they just need to stop being the least lucky creature alive. No, that's a full paralysis again. Still, see how close we are. If Zork just got one crit that... oh! Oh hey! We won! That's our third badge acquired, and easily the most load-bearing one. The game should open up a lot from here. With Watson defeated, we can finally smash these rocks and head north up through Fiery Path, out onto Route 112, and talk to this absolute peanut, who gives us the TM for Secret Power. Which is not Hidden Power, but it does allow us to run all the way back to Slateport Market, and talk to this clerk, who will now finally allow us to buy copies of TM10 Hidden Power. That's right, we can have team members now. So let's pick up our fish, and I just spent all my money on TMs. Back to my favourite cave to grind nuggets from my zigzagoon so the daycare couple stop holding my fish hostage. And we're actually here for long enough that this happens. Because of course it does. Well, welcome Sharon to the team. Unfortunately, Sharon's hidden power type is pretty bad. Fortunately, Sharon's hidden power type is pretty good, so we'll be adding her to the team. We get our nuggets shortly after, and can withdraw our fish, filling Ben 10 with protein and giving him the EXP share. While trying to evolve Ben 10 via the EXP share, Zork absolutely blesses me by getting paralysed 5 turns in a row. That's not really relevant to anything, but I seriously have no idea why this Unown is this unlucky. Oh, also then they get paralysed another 3 turns in a row and end up losing to Roselia 31 levels below them. Sure. Zork actually ends up losing a second battle against this Roselia too. But because it's out of Mega Drains, Sharon is able to slowly whittle it down over around 5 minutes. I don't know what to think anymore. At least Ben 10 evolves and so can actually start helping out. And help out he does! Physical Flying Stab on a Gyarados is so good. And hey! Fish 2 joins the party. So now we have Hidden Power Grass on Zork, Hidden Power Flying on Ben 10, Hidden Power Rock on Fish 2, and Hidden Power Ground on Sharon. All in all, a pretty good mix that should make the game more smooth going from this point on for a while. Indeed, there are no troubles between that and reaching Archie, sorry, how is making a volcano erupt ever going to help you flood the world, mate? Zork takes the Intimidate and deals a large amount to Archie's Mightyena, and then switches into Fish 2 who can finish things off with it, but actually only does just over half to Golbat despite the type advantage. Huh. He then feigns to Confusion and chip damage from Golbat. Oh no, a little embarrassing. And then Ben 10 gets crit before he can take out Golbat. Oh my god, the bad luck is spreading. Zork is contagious. Sharpedo takes out Ben 10, but thankfully Zork is able to come in and finish things off with a final Hidden Power Grass. It may have been sloppy, but it's nice to get a first try victory after Watson. Flannery time! We'll lead with Ben 10 to save Fish 2's rock damage for later, and this Slugma really just poisoned me with Smog after I equipped a Rossberry. Dang. Still, Ben 10's easily able to take it out, though the next one does set up Sunny Day before Ben 10 gets his second KO, bringing out Torkoal in the harsh weather. Ben 10 deals around a quarter before going down to a Body Slam, and then Fish 2 comes out to deal around the same amount of damage for some reason, surviving Torkoal's Body Slam and Flail and easily finishing things off. Ah, that was so smooth! I knew Gyarados was good. Badge 4 acquired. We'll make a quick detour to the desert to grab the Claw Fossil, revive Spore the Anorith, check his Hidden Power to see if it's any good, storm away in the daycare, and then come back for him never because I completely forgot about him. Anyway, Norman. I lead Fish 2 to intimidate his lead slacking, and I'm overjoyed to see Yawn. Fish 2 can do a truly paltry amount of damage for switching to Ben 10 of Loafing turn for another Intimidate, and to avoid sleep. Another Yawn means we repeat this by switching back to Fish 2, and then again back to Ben 10. In fact, Norman just keeps spamming Yawn until eventually he realises that damage would probably be smarter, but by that point Facade is doing basically nothing thanks to all the Intimidates. Feint Attack does a little more, but yeah, I'm kinda not really scared of the slacking at this point. And Fish 2 manages to get the KO with half of his HP remaining. Norman brings in his Vigoroth next, and can I just take a moment here to say that Ruby and Sapphire have some really weird gym leader teams? Flannery had 2 Slugma. Watson was entirely stuffed from Kanto's power plant. And now Norman here just has 3 Pokemon from the same line? It's so odd! Anyway, yeah, Norman brings in his Vigoroth next, and we switch over to Ben 10 on a facade that does a little more than I'd like. Ben 10 is actually below half even before landing a hit, although he does do over a third and has an Oran Berry to help him out. Thanks to Vigoroth not critting with any of its moves, Ben 10 is able to just barely win the damage race with 5 HP remaining. More than enough. Norman's Ace Slacking comes out, and I switch straight into Zigzag 1 to take the hit on the non-loafing turn. Godspeed, soldier. We bring back in Ben 10, both for an Intimidate and because he just does more damage than Fish 2, and then it's straight into Zig 7 on another facade. Godspeed, soldier. Another Intimidate and Hidden Power from Ben 10 brings Slacking down to around 3/5, and I decide to just let Ben 10 fall here. Fish 2 comes in to get an Intimidate off and hopefully also deal with the Slacking. The trouble is, Fish 2 deals beans for damage, and gets Slacking to about a quarter before also falling, leaving us with just Zork and the very underleveled Sharon. But that's okay, because Zork got... Who knows? Maybe after all the Intimidates, Zork can just win the damage race. Would be kinda wild, seeing as it wasn't that long ago they struggled with the Zubat, but anything can happen. And... oh, hey, yeah, that does actually appear to be what's gonna happen, huh? Feint Attack did not do as much as I thought it would. Zork hasn't leveled up since losing twice to that Roselia, but hey, he managed to finish off Norman's Slacking. That's badge number 5, only 3 left to go. You know what, Zork? You're alright. Since we can surf now, we'll talk to Watson to gain access to new Marvel. But not because I care about the Thunderbolt TM. Oh no. Our team is lacking in special attackers, so we're gonna catch a bunch of Magnemite and use the best one of the bunch. Electric Steel is a very good defensive typing, and if we can just get a decent hit and power, this could be our MVP. So, time for another catching spree. Welcome in Hi I'm Sunny, Junimo, Jumping, Meditation, The Zapper, Bassoon, Magister, Archangel, Mike, and 18 out of 10 Bit. We check them and learn that Hi I'm Sunny has a very powerful hidden power Grass, and Meditation has a powerful hidden power Water, and all the others are either physical types or are just terrible for base power. Great, no, cool, good use of my time. We'll grab Hi I'm Sunny for now, with the intent to replace Zork further down the line, and with that we can begin the long journey up to Fir Tree. We beat up Shelly to free the Weather Institute, reject the Nerd's cast form, try once for a Feebas to fuel my gambling needs, and easily defeat Brendan before making it to our next destination. Now, we don't actually have great matchups into flying types. We have 2 grass attacks and a ground attack that aren't helping matters out much, so really this whole gem is going to be up to the Gyarados twins. The Gyarados dose. Surely that won't be a problem as we go into Winona. Her Swallow outspeeds and uses double team, and Fish 2 does at least do over half. That is good to me, but the Endeavour next turn is heartbreaking. At least Fish 2 lands the knockout hidden power. Pelipper comes in and even it takes more than half, and dents Fish 2 with an Aerial Ace before surviving the range because... of course it does. Well, down goes Fish 2. At least this is a Pokemon that Zork can stand up to, thanks to it not resisting grass. But all of that's irrelevant. The trouble is Winona's Skarmory, and we just don't have an answer for it. Hidden Power Grass does basically nothing, and even if Fish 2 was around, a non-stab neutral physical hit wouldn't be doing a lot either. I will save you the time and say we don't win this fight. After defeating every trainer on the nearby routes to get more experience for Fish 2, it's time to actually strategize. Sharon goes into the PC because she is laughably useless here, and Meditation and the Zapper join the party temporarily. The plan being for them to take out Skarmory with their hidden power waters and good defensive typing. Now that we have a plan, let's do this again. This time we'll lead Ben 10 against Swallow to save Fish 2 for Altaria, and... oh, okay Ben 10. I guess he was worried he wouldn't be seen as the favourite Gyarados anymore. That brings in Pelipper, and we'll switch straight to Zork to keep Ben 10 healthy for Altaria in case he's needed. Zork gets confused and hits himself, because... of course they do, and then fails to deal damage the next turn due to Pelipper protecting. Though, the next turn after that, they get a crit and knock Pelipper straight into the red, which, hey, a crit from Zork is rare indeed. Winona heals, but Zork can get Pelipper back to the red before its next attack, and they're able to knock it out at around half HP. But in comes the problem child. We'll switch straight to the Zapper, who avoids a Steel Wing on the switch, and another one on the next turn. Maybe I should be using them. Oh, wait, never mind, that did basically nothing. And of course Steel Wing crits. Yeah. Let's just speed through this footage of the Zapper, slowly whittling Skarmory down, through a Hyper Potion no less, and then the switch to Meditation, who does the same thing over a period of many turns until Skarmory is only on a sliver. Now though, we're going to switch to Fish 2, as we want him out for Altaria so it can't set up a bunch of Dragon Dances or anything. He takes Little from Steel Wing, and finally lands the finishing blow on Skarmory. We are going to need a better strategy for dealing with Skarmory in future. But for the present, it's the Cloud Bird. Altaria's Dragon Breath does a manageable amount, and Fish 2's Hidden Power looks to be a 3-shot. And indeed, 2 turns later, this cloud is busted, granting us badge number 6. All we needed was a good strategy. Let's get these 2 guests out of the party and bring back Sharon. But hey, the Zapper and Meditation? You 2 did a good job. While journeying down to Lily Cove, Hyam Sunny evolves into Magneton and Sharon evolves into Lairon. The team's starting to come together now. Kinda, if you squint really hard. Okay, fine, yes, I know this run is entirely carried by my 2 Gyarados. Oh yeah, Archie takes the red orb or something, and we get given the blue orb by an old lady. Look, come on, you know the plot of these games. I know you do. And that means we get to watch Archie steal a submarine, head to the Team Aqua hideout, clear out the Team Aqua hideout, and then finally get on our merry way towards Moss Deep for our next gym badge and the ability to dive. It's nice to just be able to skip through all that. And hey, let's just keep that train rolling in the Moss Deep gym. Granted, it takes me a bit to figure out how to do this gym's puzzle since I'm so used to the Emerald version, but editor, skip past that. Okay, there we go. Tate and Liza time. One of only 2 gym battles in the series to send out 100% of their Pokemon on turn 1, as all they have in Ruby and Sapphire is Solrock and Lunatone. These games are so empty, I swear, every route has like no trainers on it. This run's honestly been a little depressing in that way. Like seeing your prom date show up in a hoodie. Lunatone and Solrock actually outspeed Zork, which is very sad. Poor little Letter's no longer got a huge level advantage. Lunatone sets up a Calm Mind, Solrock sets up the Sun, and Zork and Hyam Sunny's double up just barely doesn't take out Solrock, prompting a heal next turn as Lunatone puts Hyam Sunny to sleep. Then, next turn, Solrock really puts Hyam Sunny to sleep, and Zork's continued Zorkness means Solrock survives to get off another heal. Zork ignores Lunatone's hypnosis thanks to their health Chesto Berry, and the tag team with Fish 2 means Solrock will go down on the next turn, even with Zork being crit and burned by Flamethrower. The trouble is, Lunatone has been zenning out like crazy over there and is calm like you wouldn't believe, so even with the 2v1 we're kinda not in a good spot here. And very shortly, yeah. Having a Tropius in the back just for flying around on and having a Pokemon that can only attack with ground is probably not the play. Let's try a new strategy called doing literally the exact same thing and hoping it goes better. Lunatone instantly puts Hyam Sunny to sleep as Solrock sets up the Sun, but Zork crits, which is pretty nice and means Solrock will heal next turn rather than taking out Hyam Sunny. Sadly, that really is just one bot turn before they go straight to hell, but oh well. Zork again stays awake with their Chesto Berry, and while Lunatone just keeps setting up Calm Minds, Zork and Fish 2 manage to take out Solrock. Lunatone finally misses a Hypnosis, and the Hidden Power double up deals around a third because of those Calm Minds. This might not be lost yet. Lunatone hypnotizes Zork, but Fish 2 can still get in another hit to knock it to half. And then Lunatone uses Psychic on the sleeping Zork because Ruby and Sapphire's double battle AI is atrocious, meaning Zork can wake up and hit Lunatone, and then Fish 2 managed to finish things with a crit that didn't affect her overall victory but sure sped it up. That's badge number 7. Just 1 left now. With Dive in hand, we can arrive just in time to watch Archie piss off Kyogre with the colour red, which angers the Ancient Leviathan enough to wake it up and just get everyone in the region wet. Archie is upset about this, even though it was literally his plan, the absolute moron. Maxie chews him out, even though in another timeline he would have given everyone heatstroke. Off to Sootopolis to catch Kyogre and fix this mess. I'm not really sure why Steven and Wallace leave this to me, but it works out, so whatever. Looking back, it's kind of ironic that I take on Kyogre with a Pokemon called Hyam Sunny. Welcome Fish to the party as our 6th team member, with a pretty good Hidden Power Psychic no less. I'd have preferred Water, but it is what it is. I don't predict that Wallace will be particularly difficult, what with all the water types and grass moves we have, though this is the 3rd gym in a row that Sharon is basically useless in. Keep sucking up experience with that experience share, girl. You'll be worth it one day, I'm sure. We lead with Hyam Sunny against Love Disc, which is a matchup we easily win because it's a Love Disc. This causes Wallace to bring out Whiscash, which would annoyingly actually be quite a good matchup for Hyam Sunny, but Love does confuse them with a Water Pulse. No problem. We'll just switch to Zork, who has a grass move and is immune to ground. God, I love you, Zork. Good work taking that thing out without getting hit. Celio comes out next and... What? Why does it look so sad? Celio, what happened to you, man? Editor, give Celio a reason to smile before we knock it out.
Nice cock. Perfect.
Thank you. Time for Wallace's Seeking. Can we just talk about this team for a second? Loftisk, Whiscash, Celio, and Seeking. And this is the guy they made the champion in Emerald. The guy who leads with a love disc. Seeking sets up the rain, which is annoying but also kinda too little too late here. Zork's able to get Seeking down to a sliver before falling, which is impressive seeing as they haven't actually really leveled up since the 3rd gym. Fish 2 picks up the spade after Wallace misses a horn drill, leaving only Milotic, which... Wow, Fish 2 really does not do a lot of damage here. Hi, I'm Sunny? No? Okay. We'll let Ben 10 do what he can, which is actually a lot, and then bring out Fish for their debut battle against an almost completely defeated opponent. Except Milotic has Recover. Ah! Even a Fish crit isn't enough to outpace that healing. Damn it, Wallace, I thought we had this first try. Oh, then we get another crit and he doesn't use Recover on that turn. Okay. Though Fish does get confused. Oh, please, Fish. Please don't mess this one up. Yeah! Fish! That is every Hoenn badge obtained. And somehow, with this team, we will be champions. Vitamins will be involved, as will fighting every trainer on the high seas and in Victory Road to allow Sharon to reach her final form and maybe even contribute something one day. We also spend a couple of hours grinding against wild Pokemon in Victory Road to get some more items from the Zigza crew. It's pretty dire, but as you'll have noticed, we've been incredibly underleveled for a long time, and that's really not going to cut it against the Elite Four. Eventually though, we're finally ready to reach the end of Victory Road and take on Wally. Ben 10 deals slightly less than half to Altaria, and then Wally uses the most cursed super potion I've ever seen in my life, letting Ben 10 take the victory here with just a dent in him. This of course brings out Magneton, but that's what Sharon is for. I told you she'd be useful one day. And hey, she can even two-shot Roselia and Delcat each without taking any damage. Zork could never. Of course, Gardevoir is a different story, as Sharon just barely misses the KO before being taken out by Psychic. But that's okay, because we have literally the entire rest of the team remaining. Fish 2 picks up the spare, and we're free to move on to our final challenge. This is certainly one of the teams of all time. It sure looks a lot more powerful than it is. Time to hand in our badges and see how this goes. Up first, Sydney, who is actually dressed a little bit more like me than I'd like. Hi, I'm Sunny cares not about Mighty and his Intimidate, and is able to knock it into the red before switching out to Ben 10 as Sydney heals up. Honestly, not sure why I even bothered making that play, since Ben 10 ends up getting sand attacked and crunched a few times before taking out the dog? Are hyenas dogs? Oh, huh, they're actually closer to cats, but are their own thing entirely. Who knew? Sydney brings out Cacturn for some reason, which Ben 10 just annihilates. Against Sharpedo, we'll switch back to Hi, I'm Sunny, who gets swaggered and hits themselves in confusion, but does barely cling on from Sharpedo's attack and turn it into soup with a hidden power grass. Hi, I'm Sunny is able to get a decent hit into Absol before going down to an incredibly disrespectful Aerial Ace, and then Ben 10 gets revenge, and Fish 2 finishes Shiftry to bring us home. 1 down. Phoebe's next, and we're leading with Ben 10 because he's honestly just my best Pokemon. A huge crit does massive damage to Dusclops, who strikes back with an obnoxious Confuse Ray. I don't want Ben 10 to hit himself, so we'll switch to Fish, who can perform the first exorcism of the battle. Though they actually managed to lose against Banette, which I kind of feel like the claims that Kyogre was going to end the world were a little unfounded, huh? The real King of the Seas comes out to claim victory over this puppet, and also the Sableye. Heck, he even gets the second Banette too, after being badly poisoned with Toxic. A huge crit against Phoebe's second Dusclops midders the first turn nicely, but sadly the poison just proves to be too much. The problem for poor Dusclops 2 is that we just have an entire team at our disposal, and they prove to be too much for it. Though damn it got close, as we only had Zork remaining at the end. But still, that's 2 down. Third up is Glacia. Her lead Glalie opens with Light Screen, which is obnoxious, but Fish 2 doesn't really care and can deal over half with his physical rock move. Glalie then sets up the hail as Fish 2 brings it crashing down. She brings in an incredibly depressed Seal next, and Fish 2 can't quite two-shot, which is a little frightening for the future. We'll switch to Fish to preserve Fish 2 for later, but Hidden Power Psychic does basically nothing on the first turn due to the light screen. Fish cannot lose to a Celio. Fish! Fish, come on! That's just disgraceful! Back to Fish 2, who can manage what Fish could not. And hey, it's another Celio. Fish 2 gets a hit off before falling in love, so we'll switch to Zork. Zork is incapable of feeling love. Wow, that Blizzard did a lot. Oh yeah, I guess I did bring an underleveled Unown to the Elite Four, huh? Well, Fish 2 can avenge another team member, I suppose. In comes a second Glalie, which Fish 2 should be able to defeat, unless... Yeah, that freeze is unfortunate. Okay, maybe, Sharon can do this? Or not, but you know, it's the thought that counts. We're actually so out-leveled that Ben 10 is getting outsped. This is so sad. But at least he doesn't get frozen, and so he can take out the second Glalie, bringing us to Walrein, who takes very little from Hidden Power and then lands a freeze with Blizzard. Okay. Hi, Sunny comes in and lands a big hit before we get to see text that I've never seen before. Sturdy actually blocking a one-hit KO move. As a result of Glacia's fumble here, Walrein fails to get the KO with Surf on the next turn. Hi, Sunny does not fail. Hi, Sunny never fails. 3 down. The trouble is, our team kinda got annihilated in both of the last 2 fights. I am not feeling confident as we go into Drake and Steven. Hell, I don't even have anything close to a plan for either. I brought a fucking Unown. You think I planned anything? But don't worry. Secretly, I still have a bunch of rare candies from the Zigzag crew which we can use to level up a few team members before trying this fight out. Alright, time to face my fears. Drake's up to bat. He leads Shelgon, I lead Sharon. After Protect, she's able to do... not a lot, but this is the only one of Drake's Pokemon she can even fight, so just let her have this moment. In the end though, all she really accomplished was making Drake use a heal and leaving Shelgon at 75%. Not a great showing. At least Fish is able to two-shot from here, though the speed drop from Rock Tomb won't help out against Altaria. Though it goes straight for Dragon Dance, so it's not even really an issue. Another Dragon Dance, and Altaria is now at just above half. Another Dragon Dance, and it's at a third now. Though after that takedown, another attack from Fish, Altaria is nearly another takedown? Drake, why did you spend 3 turns setting up? I guess you really wanted to kill my fish no matter the cost. Next, it's time for Zork v Flygon. Come on, buddy, I believe in you. Crunch doesn't one-shot, and Zork can get off 1 hit before falling. You were valuable every step of the way, my friend. And now, in comes Ben 10 to intimidate Flygon, get paralysed by Dragon Breath, and then crit with Hidden Power to almost KO Flygon. He gets paralysed next turn and then finishes it off. Flygon 2 comes in and sets up a Sandstorm to finally override Fish's Torrential Downpour, and Ben 10 lands a huge hit. Next turn, Flygon uses Fly and it's gone, so I switch over to Hi Am Sunny to tank the hit as it lands. But then it uses Dig, so I switch back over to Ben 10. Sadly, Drake gets wise here and just uses Dragon Breath before healing, which I guess means he didn't really like his Altaria much. I'm not sure, I don't know a lot about Ruby and Sapphire healing AI and I do not care to learn. Still, that won't stop the Ben 10 crit train, and Flygon 2 is down. That just leaves the big guns, Salamence itself. First thing I do is switch over to Hi Am Sunny to moderately tank a Dragon Claw and fall to Flamethrower, and then go back to Ben 10 for an Intimidate before he too is taken out by the rather squat little dragon. That just leaves me with Fish 2, in a final 1v1 showdown between me and Drake. Dragon Claw deals a third, Hidden Power deals just under half. A second Dragon Claw brings Fish 2 down to 59 HP, and Salamence is brought to just the red. But it's not enough, as it eats its Citrus Berry and then outspeeds next turn and takes Fish 2 out. Except no wait! It was a range, and Fish 2 survives to land the finishing blow, taking down the final Elite Four member. It may have been close, but a victory is a victory. Just one battle remains. It's time for Steven. He opens instantly with Skarmory and I have nothing for this thing. I didn't think about this at all. Fish 2 is my best bet and that's all the damage he deals. Yeah, I don't think this is the strategy. I think we've come all this way and discovered that these Pokemon can't do this. That's pretty disheartening. We may not be able to defeat Skarmory, but Steven switches out to at least let us see how we fare against some of his other team members. Credilli is one of the only chances Ben 10 has to be useful in this fight, and he still loses because of Ancient Power. In the end, we knock out Credilli, but then get taken out by Aggron. We got one down. We need to go back to the drawing board. Let's look at the team. It's pretty clear to me that there's a weak link here. A Pokemon that's just not helping us at all and that does basically nothing. So, I think it's time to say goodbye. See ya, fish! We are struggling too much with Skarmory. I actually cut out half an hour of failed attempts against Drake, and just overall we could do with a good ice attacker into Steven. They're surprisingly useful given that he's meant to be a steel guy. So, time for one more catching spree in Shoal Cave until we get a half-decent feel. For the final time of the playthrough, let's welcome in a new cast of characters. Wow! Devon, Cake, Sip, Rolly, Steven, Telepack, Honkshoe, 12 out of 10, Seeking, Tiep, Rondell, and Anarchy join the team. Through legitimate analysis, we find out that Devon has a near maxed out Hidden Power Ice. Honestly, I don't even really need to look at the others. That's our guy. Say hi to Devon. Not often someone adds a new team member at this stage in a challenge run, but that's just how I roll. Now, as much fun as grinding with the Zigzagoon sounds, I think I'm actually just going to level up with the daycare this time. We'll deposit a couple of Pokemon at a time, and then go and fruitlessly try and bike up a slope. Yes, in Ruby and Sapphire, this counts as steps. Now, this is not the most engrossing thing in the world, so I start doing some daily puzzles on the side while holding down my control stick. I also, at the suggestion of chat, did the RADS R test. Probably didn't actually need to do it given what I was doing in the background. I passed. I may have gotten a little distracted with that. Zork is a tad bit overleveled. But oh well, it's Zork. They need the boost. This time, let's really do this. Sydney, Phoebe, Glacia, Drake. All of them fall once more, and we're back to where we left off. But this time, Steven, the advantage is mine. Well, actually it's still yours, but I'm gonna win anyway, I decided. Skarmory starts with spikes, which is obnoxious, but Devon is able to 3-shot, which is huge. Okay. Goodbye, Skarmory. Hello, Aggron. I'll bring in Sharon to prove she's superior. She nearly KOs Steven's Aggron and then survives an earthquake because she is just the baddest bitch, failing it before taking any further damage. Then in comes Armaldo, who KOs Sharon after taking some chip. But this is Fish 2's time to shine. Nothing can go wrong here. Wait, am I going to regret that? What am I going to do to Metagross? An extremely good question there, past Lottie. Fish 2 takes out Armaldo, and then in comes Claydol. Zork should do okay here. Claydol sets up both screens and then shows that its other moves are Ancient Power and Earthquake. Zork is actually completely capable of stalling this thing out of moves. That's right, Zork actually wins a 1v1 against one of the champion's Pokemon. And you all doubted them. That brings out Credilli, who immediately yeets Zork. Haim Sunny should be able to do some good work here though. Oh, wait, yeah, no, light screen. Never mind. Welcome in, Fish 2. That crit is nice, light screen wears off, and Credilli doesn't get an Ancient Power boost before Fish 2 falls, which are all good things. But then Steven heals, which is sad. I still believe in Haim Sunny. Haim Sunny never fails. All that's left is Skarmory and Metagross. Haim Sunny does not do a lot to Metagross. We need Devon for Skarmory, so let's send in Ben 10 first. Metagross naturally gets the attack boost with Meteor Mash before obliterating Ben 10 with a Hyper Beam. Somehow I doubt Devon can get it from here. Especially since Steven still Yeah, full restore. Okay, this isn't it. The Pokemon are fine, but the plan isn't. Let's try this again with a new strategy. Okay, this is it. Again, Skarmory uses spikes and then runs away like a coward into Aggron. But this time, we'll switch to Haim Sunny instead of Sharon, since we need her for Metagross later. Haim Sunny just needs to weaken Aggron enough that Sharon can... okay, that works. Yeah, that works for me. No, that does not work. No, don't want to see that so early. We'll switch to Ben 10 on the baited Earthquake. I know what I want to do here. Ben 10 doesn't deal a lot, but that's okay, that's not why he's here. We just need Meteor Mash not to get the attack boost. And after taking 2, Ben 10 is right in the line of a Hyper Beam, which graciously comes his way, knocking him out while Metagross is at half. This is the perfect opportunity to bring in Sharon. Her hidden power comes out and knocks Metagross down to about a quarter while it recharges. But it's healing range. Ben 10 got an unfortunate crit that's put us in a bad spot here. Sharon can still lower Metagross down to just above half though, and she can even tank the quad effective Earthquake from a pseudo-legendary just because she's built so damn different. Sadly, she's unable to claim the victory that she deserved. We'll need to pivot. I genuinely don't know if any of my Pokemon can do this from here, but Fish 2 probably has the best odds. And actually, he does manage it. Steven refuses to heal up Metagross again, surprisingly. The monster is down, now we just need to deal with the rest of his team. We already know that Zork can 1v1 Claydol consistently, somehow. I mean, yeah, it takes a while, but Z is for Zenith, and you've reached the end of your journey, Claydol. Get Zorked. I'd like to see a Kyogre do that. Cradilly next. Zork's main goal now is to just stall out the last few turns of Reflect and Light Screen. They do okay, but Light Screen still has a couple of turns left, so we need to bring in Fish 2. Light Screen wears off, Fish 2 falls, Cradilly is left on very little HP. Time for Devon to claim the KO with the eye in Fibs. Just a 2v2 now, and Steven brings out Armaldo, so I switch to Haim Sunny. I still need Devon for that damn Skarmory after all. Armaldo's Ancient Power deals, frankly, far too much damage, and Hidden Power doesn't deal back enough to win the race. Armaldo clings on by a hair as Haim Sunny fails for the first time in the run. Devon, it's all up to you. Make us proud. Steven has another full restore. It's basically over. Devon can't even crit against Armaldo because of its battle armor. But then Armaldo just uses Slash instead of Ancient Power, and Devon is able to get the KO. It's a 1v1, Devon against Skarmory, the way this battle started. Steel Wing knocks Devon to 72, Hidden Power lowers Skarmory into the red. We've done it! Steven, how many do you have? But Devon refuses, landing the biggest crit I have ever seen. He survives Skarmory's Steel Wing and takes the victory next turn with a final Hidden Power Ice. We've done it. That fight was full of ups and downs, but we've done it. Our Pokemon can finally be recorded for all of time. You know what? No one has ever had this Hall of Fame team before. Well, we did it! We beat Pokémon Sapphire using only Hidden Power, with the only modification to the base game being to take Unown as a starter. Turns out it is indeed possible. I was actually so dedicated to this challenge that I found someone named Sapphire to edit this video. So, a big thank you to Sapphire for doing that. Plug yourself, Sapphire. Do it! Do it now! If you liked what you saw, well, you know what I'm gonna say. But liking and subscribing and leaving comments really does help. Or maybe you'd want to check out twitch.tv/GuineaLottie where all of this run and other challenge runs are streamed live. But regardless, we're done here for now. Have a nice day. Zork who was straight Zorking it. Oh.